Have you ever been talking to somebody and, especially for my parents in the room, you can have a deep conversation and out of nowhere you hear a baby crying, and as much as you trying to talk, that attention to that baby, because you understand that a baby only cries for certain reasons, and so it's going to take, even if it's not your own baby, that baby started to cry, it's going to take your attention. Was the attention taken, or was it like, you know what, I know I need to do it, but I'm just not? Did I lay my focus down? A lot of us have done that. We will say something took it, but in actuality, we just laid it down. God told you to do it. You got into it, and you found out it wasn't going to be as easy as you thought. And so when it got harder, you said, you know what, listen, I'm going to go ahead and just lay this right here. I'm going to go ahead and lay this career right here, even though I know that's what he's called me to do, and I'm very good at it, and it should be harder than what it really is, but I have now hit a wall, so I'm just going to stop it altogether. I've laid my focus down for my comfortability. Oh, my goodness. These are things I want you, and as we begin to take notes, I want you to really, truly ask yourself these questions on this week. A distraction is the distraction of your dream in slow motion. A distraction is the destruction of your dream in slow motion. Have you ever watched your dreams deteriorate in front of you? When you thought this is what you were called to do? Again, I'm not up here to play games. I wanted to be a music producer growing up. For the ones who know, I was going to be the next Timberland, was his name, that I used to love. And I bought a whole lot of equipment. I mean a whole lot of equipment. And because I was convinced that I was going to be a music producer, I was very good at it. And I was musically inclined, and I was having people come, and they were paying for music and all that good stuff. And I thought that that's what I was going to do because I had a passion for it. And let me just stop and caveat this and say this is, just because you have a passion for something don't mean that's what you're called to. Passion doesn't equate to calling. Okay, so let me just sit there for you. So I thought that I was going to be a music producer, and I was very, very, very good at it, and I was starting to make some money in it, and so I was really, truly convinced that's what I was called to do until I had my real moment with God. Let me repeat that. Now, I understood the Bible. I had parents in the church, and I knew God, but I'm not sure if God knew me. Can I talk about me? Is that all right? I knew God. I had read his word, but I didn't think he really knew me. Because the Bible says that there are going to be a lot of people at the end that's going to stand up in front of him and be like, I did all this in your name. And he's going to say, depart from me, for I never knew you. That hit me real hard. So I asked the question at that moment, God, and I was nervous to ask the question at that time because I didn't want him to say what I thought he was going to say, and he sure did say it. I said, God, is this what I'm called to do? Is this what you would have me do? And it was very clear as I'm talking to you today, he was like, no. He didn't give me no long sentence. It wasn't nothing profound. He didn't crack the sky open and speak in a melodious voice. He simply said no. And my whole spirit man shifted. That day, I pretty much gave away every piece of equipment My wife thought I had gone crazy because I didn't sell it, I gave it away. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment I just gave away. Do you know how I had to beg people to get the money to get the equipment? Because I thought I was doing what I was called to do. And the minute that it became very clear in my life, that's not what I was called to do, my spirit man shifted. And now I said, I got to get rid of everything I am not called to. Oh, my goodness. Is this helping anybody? Because everything doesn't require elimination. Some things just needs moderation. Ooh, everything in your life don't mean you got to get rid of, because at that time I got rid of it, but I couldn't get rid of the talent of playing drums, because playing drums is the thing that kept me in church. Oh my goodness, let me help somebody this morning. The one thing that I couldn't get rid of was my talent of playing drums. And me playing drums is the number one thing that kept me in church, so I could get under the right ministry at the right time to get the right word that would shift my focus. Oh my goodness. So God would use exactly what he needs to use in your life to put you in the right position. But it is not until you're in the right position where he can then begin to build your character. Oh, okay. All right. There are some distractions that come with your destiny. Ooh, there are some distractions that come with your destiny. Have you ever been on the right road? But being on the right road doesn't mean that there ain't no bumps and there ain't no turns and all that good stuff. You could be going in the right direction to the right place, and out of nowhere, there's a pothole. And you on your way to the place, you know how to get there. Ain't nobody got to tell you, but you was not expecting in the middle of the night, you are driving fast because you know where you're going. And out of nowhere, bang, a pothole. And you're going the right way, the right direction, with the right people, and now you are pulled over to the side of the road because that pothole in your life has now dented your rim. Okay. Sometimes we are heading in the right direction too fast. Sometimes we are heading in the right direction, doing what God called us to do, but you can't operate outside of God's timing. All right. Okay. There's a difference between just regular distractions and evil distractions. Put that up there. Evil distractions. What is evil distractions? Evil distractions is anything that distracts you from your purpose and or God-given mission. When something distracts you from what God has called you to do, that's an evil distraction. Like I told you, there's those potholes. The pothole is an evil. That's called life. It happens. There's weather conditions. Some stuff might fall off, but it doesn't deter you from staying on that road. But there are some distractions that will have you turn around completely, where you know where you're going, but there is a pothole or there's something that you say, you know what, I don't even want to deal with it. I'm going back home. Have you ever done that? Have you ever said, you know what, I'm going to go, I know I need to go and see how they're doing. But you get on the road and then you see that traffic on 35, you be like, listen, I'm just going to call them. I know I need to go see them, but not today. Not today. Or you made the decision to go see them too late, and you already know you should have seen them at 11 this morning, but you wait till 5:15 to try to get on that road. Oh, my goodness. All right. Evil is determined by its function in your life. There is a difference between, let me help you here. There's a difference between good works and dead works. There's a difference between good works and dead works. What's dead works? Because we most of us know what good works are. Let me help you understand what dead works are. Dead works are good works that God hasn't specifically assigned to you. It's not saying that it's not a work of God. It's a work that God didn't give you to do. Oh, Woo, Jesus. There's a lot of churches that are doing dead work because they are doing something that they've seen another ministry do, but God didn't call that ministry to do that, and he called that ministry for something specific. And so now you're trying to do everything you see everybody else do, and just because somebody gets saved under what you do don't mean that it was specifically for you. Oh, my goodness. Because we don't want to understand that just because you're doing good don't mean you're doing what God called you to do. Just because you are doing good don't mean that's what God called you to do. We think that just because it's good, that's what we should do. I gave the example. I told y'all this is probably months ago when God dealt with me with helping one of my friends. Now, helping somebody is good works, is it not? But God told me specifically not to help him. And I was like, what do you mean, God? Don't help him. He says, I am the one that got him in the situation that he's in. And if you come and help him, then he won't learn what I'm trying to teach him. And now you become my opposition. I'm not trying to get too heavy on y'all. But some of us are doing that. We out here trying to save everybody. And God says, I didn't ask you to be their lifesaver. I know that's your child. Leave them where they are because I know what to do and how to get them where I need to get them. You can't save everybody. Even Jesus died on the cross that everybody shall be saved. But the question is, will everybody be saved? The answer is no. So if Jesus can't save everybody, neither can you. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, all right, let's go home. Let's go home. What you choose to do can become a distraction from what you're called to do. I'm going to end here. Jordan, wherever you are, let's go ahead, let's ride, let's go home. What you choose to do can become a distraction from what you are called to do. It's all back to this thing called choice. The issue of mankind, choice. The problem with humanity, choice. God loved us so much that he gave us the ability to choose. I never understood. I said, God, you know what? If our choice would cause all this havoc and mayhem and all this problem, why did you give it to us? I think that's a legitimate question to ask God. I said, if it's causing all these problems, why did you give it to us? And I had to go back to the beginning. He says, if I was going to create you in my image, in the likeness of me, I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't going to give you a part of me. Like you give a part of yourself to God. God says, I ain't like that. I'm going to give you all of me. When I create you and I said you are created in my image, I'm going to give you all of me. That as God, I got the choice to do what I want to do. So I'm going to give you that same choice. Some of that is heavy, I get it, but at the end of the day, if you are created in God's image, which you are, you have the choice, even with your holy self, sanctified, baptized in the Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues, you can still do the wrong thing. Yeah, so that gets rid of these perfect Christians out here. That's very judgmental, that's going to talk about everybody and all their problems, and they got the answer to everything. I love talking to them people because I say, you know what? I know you know they sin, but I just wonder what yours is. Just because yours isn't as visible as everybody else, and you always want to get on somebody's platform and talk against somebody else's sin, and then now you want to look crazy when people start to figure out yours. Now you want to talk about grace. Now you want to talk about forgiveness when you were the main person that wasn't forgiving nobody for nothing. You were judging everybody from the front door to the back door. Ooh, Jesus. What you choose can become a distraction from what you're called to. I'm going to end it with this. Jordan, go ahead and play. Let's end this because I can talk all day. Let me go to a story that most of us might remember, some of us might not. there was a man by the name of Nehemiah. And Nehemiah was on this wall because God had told him, I need you to focus on building this wall. And there were people, to make a long story short, there were people down trying to get Nehemiah's attention. And he says, hey, Nehemiah, I know what you're doing, but we need help. They came at Nehemiah like they were friendly. They says, hey, if you just come down just real quick and help us. If you just help us, we can, we'll help you. They said, we'll help you if you help us. Have you ever heard that before? Like people are like, oh yeah, if you come help me, and then I'll help you. But when it's time for them to help you, they can't be found. You help them move. Now it's time for you to move, and they ain't answering their phone. You done called them 10 times. You be like, wait, I was there for you? This is the folk that's dealing with Nehemiah. And Nehemiah says a phrase that I you know what? I was like, come on, Nehemiah, I'm going to use that. But Nehemiah says this. He says, I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down. He says, I'm doing a great work. I don't have the option to come down. He didn't say he didn't want to. He didn't say that he wouldn't. He says, I can't. I'm so dedicated to what God has got me in, I can't. Chris, why you didn't call me? I can't. I'm focused. Why didn't you show up to the family reunion? I can't. I'm focused. Why didn't you answer the phone? You knew I needed help. I know you needed help, man. I know we homeboys, but I can't. I'm focused. Don't let people make you feel bad about when God has gotten you focused on something. They tell you, you changing up. You be like, yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. You ain't the same Chris. No, I'm not. Thank you for noticing. You think you're better than people. No, I don't. God is. But thank you for noticing. Because the only reason people say stuff is when they see, oh my goodness, when they see something in you that's not in them, they'll criticize what's in you. Oh my goodness. What they will do is when they see something in you that's not in them, they'll criticize you. They want to put you into a box that they will be able to control. Oh my goodness. Sometimes the devil will use an invitation to distract you. I'm going to end there. He will use an invitation. Nehemiah, come down, man. Come help us. Come help us. Come be with us. Come do this with us. You know, we've been friends for 20 years. Nehemiah was like, I can't. I can't come down. That's what God wants us to be. Well, we have the guts, the gall, to be able to look the enemy in the face. And I'm not saying the enemy that your friends are enemies and that your family enemies. No, what I'm saying is that they can be used of the enemy. And you're going to have to know the difference. But you ain't going to know the difference if you ain't walking in what God called. Oh. See, God will never let you operate in a manner that he doesn't want you to operate. See, we just go against what God gives us. See, God will give us a feeling on something and we'll still operate or do something against what God has given us. And then you get mad and you be frustrated with yourself, with people around you, out of your own disobedience. I always use that excuse. I always use that because I say, I like to use family because all of us in here got family. But again, I can talk about mine, I ain't gonna talk about yours. But there are times where, again, my family want to help. I can't help you. I'm sorry. And it's okay. You might not like me right now. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Because the problem I have with family is that the enemy uses family because he knows that if I can convince you with family, I can get you with everybody else. The enemy's smart. I told you, the enemy's smart. He ain't stupid. He know how to get. He's like, listen, I'll use your child to break you down. Okay, all right. Is that too heavy for him? I'm sorry. The enemy knows that what I'll do is I'll get your child to act up and break you down. And now you are having mental breakdowns because of your child. When God says, leave your child alone and let them build, they grown. If that's the life they want to live, let them. Because here's the thing, I tell you, love them from a distance. Let God correct. Because God will do a better job than you. And if God is not telling you to be the one to correct them, then don't. You love them. But that don't mean you're going to be in my house doing it. See, yeah, I know how to do it. I hear you, God. Well, they can go somewhere else with it then. Tell them to call me on holidays. I just want us to make sure that we understand what we are called to. I don't want you to waste time running and being focused on something that you ain't called to. A lot of us are doing it. A lot of us are doing it. The problem is you think you got time. Yeah, that's what we tell our kids. Oh, you got time to go do what you want to do? Do you? Do you? You know, oh, they young, let them do that. Okay, you sure? Oh, they just 20, whatever. Oh, okay. Have you not been watching the news? All right. All right, cool. I get it. I'm only 30. 30's the new 20. All right, get out here and act a fool if you want to. That's on you. They always try to make something new, ain't they? 30 is the new 20. 40 is the new 30. I'm like, 40 is 40, 30 is 30, 20 is 20. Absolutely. Because the ones who know, I was like, you can say that all day. Wake up 40 tomorrow and see how you feel. I told my kids, they was like, y'all act so old. I was like, listen, you ain't never made it here. I said it to my family too, my mom, my daddy, and my aunties. I was like, oh, they act so old. And I started getting older. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what they were talking about. I know what it feels like to do absolutely nothing and wake up and something hurt. And they ask you, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I did absolutely nothing, but I have no idea right now why my back hurt. But guess what? That comes with what? Time. And time will tell. Stand to your feet. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This series, I told you, I don't know how long God's going to have me in this series, but I want us to be focused. Here is the homework. Here is the homework. Because we do a lot of preaching as pastors and preachers. But I like classroom settings because people learn in classrooms. People learn in classrooms. Here is the homework. I want you to go home today, tonight. If you're single, pray to God. If you're married, talk to your wife, your husband, then pray. But I want you guys to think and ask God, what do I need to be focused on? Not my wants. And I know you'll take care of my needs. I don't need to be focused on my needs because you're going to take care of them. See, that's another level of trust. I trust God to the point where I ain't got to pray for no light bill. I know you're going to take care of that. I'm not praying for no light. I'm not praying for you to take care of the rent. You are going to take care of that. That's a need. He said he will provide all my needs. Then do it, God. I trust you. See, we keep praying to God for the stuff that he's going to take care of anyway. So I need us to grow up in our faith. I'm not coming to God for the small stuff. God, I need you to show me what to focus on. What am I here to do in this moment? Because let me help you. You can be focused on this for this moment. He has you for this season in your life, and then your season will change. So this season of my life, God, what am I needing to be focused on? I don't want to waste no more time. I got to do what God has called me to do for this moment. Okay, let me end here because I told you I can talk all day. Moses was raised in the palace of the same people he was going to have to rebuke. How many of us were raised in the same house that we're going to have to turn around and rebuke? Why do you even bring that up, PC? I bring that up is because if you are willing to allow God to show you what needs to be done, God took Moses and put him on the backside of a mountain. Just so when it was time to deliver people, he would take them to the same backside of the mountain he came from. You can't take nobody to a place that you ain't never been. You can't tell your family to pray if you ain't no prayer. You can't tell your family to trust God if you don't. God, what do I need to be focused on? What that really means is take me where I need to go. Take me where I need to go. Take me through whatever I need to go through. I'm going to trust you because I know once I come through it, what I go through is connected to everybody who's connected to me. I'm connected. We connected. Life changes. We connected to the city. This city going to be changed. This city is going to be changed by what we do as a community, as a church. I tell you all the time, we can't call ourselves a church if we ain't affecting the community. Enough of that. We've lost touch. The church has lost touch with the people that it should be after. Let's remember who Jesus hung around. Let's remember what Jesus said, how he operated with the people that we don't fool with. All right. We can't do the same. We won't do the same. We won't do the same. I'll leave you with this. Next Sunday, somebody say next Sunday, we have a great man to God that's going to bring the word. Minister Corian's going to bring that word. I want to see you in the house. I truly believe that God don't have to always speak through me as the pastor. Enough of them games where it got to come from the head. Because then you ostracize people when you do that. God speak to me just like he speak to y'all. Okay, let me help you. There are times when God will show you something that he didn't show me. Can I help you? Because as a pastor, I can miss it too. I can miss it. What I don't want us to do is be to the point where we feel like that you can't say nothing. Or you feel like I'm trapped. You've been there, you got that at work where I'm like, well, I have a way that you probably could fix it this way, but I ain't going to tell them because if I go, they'll think I'm trying to take their job. And now they after me. Now they're talking about me behind my back. See, the enemy will use that to get you all focused. God is bigger than your frustration. God is bigger than people's egos. we have to make sure that we are listening to the voice of God in this moment.